Hey everyone, welcome back to the Garden of English. I'm Tim Freitas and I'm glad you're here. If you didn't know, the place where you can earn the most points on each of your essays for your AP Lit exam is row B of the 6-point grading rubric that the readers use. This is the evidence and commentary row that makes up a total of 4 of the 6 points available for each essay. So, you want to make sure that you can consistently write excellent evidence and commentary every time you produce anything, so you can score well and really excel not only on your exam, but also in your classes. Today, I'm going to share some secrets so you can do exactly that. Now, the first thing you'll want to do to make sure that you score well on your exam and better your writing is to press the like and subscribe buttons right below this video. You should probably hit that bell too. This will ensure that you never miss a Garden of English video that is meant to help you perform better in your English classes. It's true. Writing advice that I offer in my videos won't only help you on test day, but all throughout college and even graduate school. I would know, because I used these same techniques when I was completing my college studies, and I finished with a 3.914 as an undergraduate and a 4.0 as a graduate student.
Oh, I don't care.
I also have former high school students contact me all the time, letting me know that they use the writing tips that I provided for them while they were in school, while they're in college. They're doing just fine. Anyway, the problem that you have to deal with when writing a literary argument on your AP exam is the fact that you don't have the actual text of the book in front of you, so you need to recall a lot of those details. Now, I've already made a video about how to make sure that the book details are fresh in your mind, and you can find it linked in the description below this video. The thumbnail for it looks like this. In my last video, I showed you how to write topic sentences that were derived from a strong thesis statement. And today, we're going to include our evidence and commentary in the body paragraphs for the topic sentences that we produced last time. I'd like to remind you of the prompt that we are responding to. It's a variant of the Macbeth prompt that's found in the Garden of English's Lit support materials that teachers can find linked right up in the description down below. These materials include digital and print unit exams that can be combined easily to create midterms and final exams, guided video notes that make great subplans, specialty and novel-based prompt sets that include poetry, prose, and literary analysis prompts for commonly taught novels, and a bunch of other stuff. The best part is that this resource is ever growing and we consistently add to it. Every other month we add a new prompt set, and when new YouTube videos come out, we add new worksheets to go along with those videos as well. Now that you know that, here's the prompt that we're in the process of responding to. We already created thesis and topic sentences in response to this prompt, and you can refresh your memory of them by checking them out right now. Alright, so let's get into how you can write your body paragraphs to maximize your score. We're going to write the first body paragraph together. If you've ever seen Pinocchio, you'll know that Jiminy Cricket gave Pinocchio great advice. Always let your topic sentence be your guide. Bruh. Okay, well maybe he said conscience when he sang it to him.
That's a fact.
But Jiminy should have said topic sentence to Pinocchio. If I wanted to let the topic sentence guide the evidence and commentary of my first body paragraph for my essay, I'd have to recognize that the sentence lets my reader know that I'm going to include specific examples from the story of Macbeth where Lady Macbeth belittles and shames Macbeth. After I include these specific examples in my paragraph, I then have to provide commentary by explaining how these moments that I've included where she shames her husband actually showcase how she's trying to save face and mask her own guilt. All of this is revealed in that topic sentence that I created. Now, when beginning to include your evidence in any of your body paragraphs, you're going to want to start your second sentence of that paragraph with a phrase like for example, or for instance, or anything that indicates an example is coming next. This helps establish a line of reasoning for your reader as you indicate you're moving towards providing evidence in this paragraph. Once you've included your phrase, you then want to include one of the following words or phrases directly after that particular exemplary phrase. You can follow it with the word after or the word following, or you can put the word before there or the phrase prior to. The reason why you want to do this is because putting one of these words or phrases there will force you to provide surrounding context in relation to the example that you're about to describe. Most of the time you'll want to use the word after or the word following, but if you're ever describing events from the very beginning of a reading or a story that you're talking about, you'll want to put the word before or the phrase prior to right after where you put for example. One of the most frustrating things I run into when reading essays is when students assume that I know the details of the story they are writing about. Oftentimes I don't. and typically I have no idea how the story has progressed to the point the students want to use for an example. Since the words I just mentioned force the writer to provide a brief summary of what happens surrounding the evidence, I, as the reader, have a much clearer understanding of how the events in the story progress leading up to the literary moments that will be focused on in the particular paragraph. One super important point. When you include evidence in your body paragraphs following your topic sentence, that evidence must be a minimum of 3 sentences long and a maximum of 5. The 3-sentence minimum makes sure that you provide enough details from the evidence as you recall it. And the 5-sentence maximum makes it so that you won't fall into only summarizing the book as you produce your essay. Doing that would lead to certain death. Figuratively, of course. When you provide the context for your example, it should only take up 1 to 2 sentences of your 3 to 5 sentence limit. You do want to make sure that more time is spent on describing your example than describing the context that surrounds it. So let's add some context to our first body paragraph. The sentence following my topic sentence, which includes my example, would read like this. For example, following Macbeth's implied assassination of the king at the end of Act 2, Scene 1, Lady Macbeth calls Macbeth a womanly coward when he seeks her assurance and presence due to the immense guilt he feels for the savage murder of Duncan that the devious couple orchestrated. You should notice that I provided the context of the implied murder, and I began to shift into the examples of Lady Macbeth shaming her husband. I specifically mentioned how she called him a womanly coward as he seeks her assurance. But a little context and quick example isn't enough for me to show that I know the story well, so I'll want to continue to describe the example that I want to include in this paragraph a little bit more. When you provide the context and precisely describe what happens in the evidence, you want to make sure that your descriptions include incredibly precise verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. Make sure that your pronouns and their antecedents are clear too. So let me model more precisely how to write about Lady Macbeth shaming her husband. If I were to add to the evidence section of my first body paragraph, I'd continue like this. Lady Macbeth continues to admonish Macbeth as she tells him to snap out of his uneasiness because the dead cannot return to haunt them. She also treats Macbeth as a mentally ill man, dismissing his persistent distress. Notice how the evidence section in my paragraph is 3 sentences long, and it includes precise verbs including words like admonish, haunt, and dismissing. And when describing the events in the story, I use words like uneasiness, mentally ill, persistent, and distress. Great. Now that we've added this to our topic sentence, we have 4 sentences of our first body paragraph. But we aren't done because we've only completed the evidence element of the row B on the rubric, not the commentary. In order to make sure that you provide enough commentary to earn a 4 in this row, you should have at least 3 sentences of it. I actually have some commentary templates that can help you provide commentary every time. They're about to show up right on your screen. These templates, along with tips and examples from today's video, can be found in the description down below. Down there, you can also find a link to grab some awesome homemade and designed Garden of English merchandise. The easiest way to remember what to do when generating commentary is by remembering the pattern of what words should show up in your commentary sentences. Your first sentence of commentary should include the word because at some point. Your second sentence should begin with the phrase consequently since, and your final sentence of your commentary should start with the word thus, therefore, or furthermore, and also include a phrase like due to the fact that at some point. So here's what the first sentence of commentary would look like to explain how the examples I referenced earlier in the paragraph show that Lady Macbeth is trying to mask her own guilt. Macbeth's tortured mind caused by his brutal betrayal of Duncan reflects Lady Macbeth's hidden feelings of regret and shame because it took the two of them to fully execute the treasonous act. Notice how I began by paraphrasing part of the example that I wanted to focus on. I then synonymously connected the evidence to my topic sentence claim about Lady Macbeth masking her own guilt when I mentioned how the evidence reflects Lady Macbeth's hidden feelings of regret and shame. And I included the word because to prompt my explanation. Now, you may suggest that what shows up after the word because is an explanation that lacks depth. If you feel this way, you're right. That's why we need more sentences of commentary to expound upon the reasoning that I have springboarded with this first sentence. So, relying on this first sentence as a jumping off point, I'm going to continue my commentary as follows. Here's my next sentence. Consequently, since Lady Macbeth is a witness and conspirator to the crime, subconsciously she is subject to the same demons that now haunt Macbeth. However, she puts up her fight instinct in contrast to his flight instinct and becomes significantly aggressive towards him as a way to hide from her unarticulated fears. Notice how the introductory language in the sentence forced me to create a logical sequence and outcome for how the two of them being involved correlates her response with Macbeth's, even though she's trying to suppress her own guilt. In the commentary, you'll notice that assumptions and inferences about Lady Macbeth's behavior are articulated when it explores how she subconsciously experiences the same demons that haunt her husband and how her fight instinct moves her to be aggressive to hide her own fear. This commentary is cruising, but we need to add at least one more sentence, and so I'm going to do so now. Here's what it's going to look like. Furthermore, Lady Macbeth is in denial of her guilt and angered by the anguish Macbeth displays due to the fact that she constantly dismisses Macbeth as he mentions the bloody murder and its gory outcomes. The commentary finishes by starting with the word furthermore and discusses how Lady Macbeth's fear and denial lead to her anger. This anger is evident as a result of her dismissing all of Macbeth's qualms, even though she most likely shares in them as well, which will be revealed significantly later in the play itself, actually in Act 5. Now, if you don't like my templates, that's okay too. But if you're going to provide detailed commentary, there are some words that will really help you out, and you want to make sure that they show up all over the place in the commentary sections of your writing. Here's a list of words and phrases for those of you that want a free solo when you write this part of your body paragraph. They're right here, and they're also included in the video document. In the accompanying document, you'll also find the second body paragraph of this essay completed, but you'll notice that the third body paragraph is only the topic sentence. This is because it's now your job to write the third body paragraph by following the models that I've set up and shared with you in the video document and in this video. The rest is up to you. So, go and finish that third body paragraph by applying all that you've learned in the video series so far, and then go learn how to write sophisticated conclusions by watching the video that's about to show up right on your screen.